In the car, I am talking about loving kindness meditation, the introduction to it, for my prospective novice that's going to be a novice monk today. I was talking about how when a person operates in their life without loving kindness, being around environments where people are unkind, unwise, unfriendly, could be a parent, could be boyfriend, girlfriend, could be friends, where they come over and the language they use is F this, F that. I don't like that F in person. Just the language. There's violence in the language. There's unkind speech in the language. There's harsh language. There's harmful language. And usually that's how all of us get programmed, is by and through language. Body, speech, and mind. Actions, thoughts, and words. That's not good when that is gone unchecked and people don't know what loving kindness, concern for oneself, for others, caring, compassion, understanding. So when the introduction of loving kindness, also known as metta meditation, comes into the picture, some of the few instructions are: may I be well, may I be happy, may I be free from mental suffering, may I be free from physical suffering. When you say when I be well and when I be happy and may I be healthy, each meaning behind that is, especially the healthy part, is that I'm not going to use vape, I'm not going to use illicit drugs, I'm not going to use alcohol that would otherwise advert what I'm trying to wish myself. I'm trying to be healthy, wanting to be healthy. I'm not going to take things that's going to be unhealthy. May I be well. Your brain start to shift gears into wellness and not sickness. And you would start thinking happy thoughts. You was thinking kind thoughts. Again, you're trying to override negative bias, cognitive negative bias. You're trying to override a lot of intrusive negative thoughts in one's mind. May I be free from mental suffering, depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia. This is the will to kind of stop all of these things from infiltrating in your life, and the awareness of not to recycle one's past, and the awareness of not to apprehend the future, because it has not yet come. May I be free from physical suffering. Obviously, if you're engaging in combative sports that we spoke about yesterday, or you're out playing football and stuff like that, you might want to be careful, because if you're trying to wish physical wellness, you would take steps, to preserve the integrity of your body. Or if you are injured from recent fall or anything like that, again, may I be free from physical suffering. You wouldn't want to continue that route. So again, all of this is meant to reprogram over and over again. Reprogram your mind, the start, the introduction, the belief that I can be well and I will be well. I can be happy. I can be healthy. I can and I will. And then slowly you extend that loving kindness, again, in the instructions of Bhikkhu Bodhi, to others. The stranger at the gas station, a dear friend, a respected friend or colleague, and then slowly extend that outward into people who are unkind. Compassion arises as a direct result of deep understanding, by understanding other people. By understanding, that's why you have to study psychology, because psychology explains why they do what they do. We are frustrated because we don't understand why they do what they do. Why did that person steal? Why did they kill? And it's still because they're probably poor. They kill because thousands and millions of years ago we were programmed to actually hunt, gather, and reproduce. Okay, so having these basic knowledge in psychology, one gets closer to understanding why humans behave the way that humans do. If anyone look at the other animal in the animal kingdom, the way how they behave, how silly they are. Like panda, if you ever look at a bunch of pandas, they're really silly. They like climb and they fall and then they get back up. You know what I mean? They're not taking steps to do things skillfully. That, or they're probably programmed not to do things skillfully. So we laugh at that, by understanding their behavior. By understanding a lot of behavior in the animal kingdom, we understand our own animals in our kingdom. And the only thing that separates us, human and animal, is the ability to think. Sometimes some people don't have the capacity to think, right? And compassion arises for those who are, incapable. The emergence of neurodiversity. People who just, their brain wasn't set up right. That's how I put it. Being angry over that or them, doesn't really solve anything. And you have to try to look past the behavior and into the person. Past the behavior and into the person to understand. That's a lot harder to do because it requires thinking. And nowadays people are lazy. They don't want to think. They would rather judge. And quite fairly fast versus thinking. Critical thinking. And from a Buddhist context, again, once you wake up, your eyes, ears, all of your senses, all your six sense doors are activated. You are just out the door, ready to judge, ready to battle, ready to fight. And Buddhism reprograms that, so that that's why before you leave out of the door, you should meditate. And cycling through the meditation, mindfulness of the breath, and then go to loving kindness meditation, especially if our world is becoming the way that it is. May I be well. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings know what it's like to let go. May all beings be kind to each other. That you already set the stage and tone out of the door. Now, if you all have ever been in Asian people's cars, a lot of them have the Buddha statue or image or picture hanging next to the rear view mirror, because it reminds them of all of the teachings. The image of the Buddha reminds them that, I should really behave like a Buddha. I should be reminded of his teachings as I'm driving. I definitely should not, engage in road rage or cussing and all of the hindrances that can keep me from progressing today. A lot can happen in one day. How much negative karma do you want to accumulate in one day? And the consequences that is carried after that. This is why people go to jail every day, because of road rage. That's it. One road rage. One day. One life. Ruined. Isn't that terrible when we look at the news and we realize this road rage could have been prevented, and how someone died today because of silly. Are you serious? The road is not yours. Where down the line did you think that this road was yours? Where down the line did you think that this lane was yours? Did you buy the lane? Hey, Tom, do you have paperwork on the right lane where you so claimed it was yours? So because someone passed you, you thought it was your lane, invading your space. And so you grabbed your 38 and shot him. Well, now you're in the prison lane. The lane, the prison. So my point exactly why loving kindness is necessary. And again, it takes time for this to kind of sink into our skin, sink into our veins, and become the new operating system in our head. And it can't happen overnight. But I started this 10 years in the making, as part of my practice back in the day, after my first breakup. I was just self-destructive. And by listening to the chant of metta, I was able to reprogram my mind to be more peaceful, to be more calmer, to be more kind to myself, and to watch what I say when I'm around others. This concludes my preliminary introduction to loving kindness meditation.